Hello everyone, good evening. When are you folks attempting the exam? Please write in the chat. When are you attempting? 2026, 27. Okay. Okay. Great. When are others attempting? 2026, 27. Just write yes or no. This session is going to be more interactive. Please be active in the chat. Please ask your questions in the chat. All right. Good evening, everyone. We'll start. We have enough people. We are going to talk about something called as mid-prep crisis. Why? Because by the time September comes, almost every year, there are a lot of aspirants, and I keep talking to a lot of aspirants. I hear that, sir, should I attempt in 2026 or 2027? This is like a mid-cycle of the whole UPSC exam, right? Almost 8 to 9 months are left for the exam, and there kicks in a confusion. Should I be attempting for 2026 or 2027? Should I skip this year? Should I decide it in probably when the prelims comes, let's say in March, April or May, right? Like, should I be attempting or not? So we are going to give you a strategy. If you stick to that, 100% you'll be able to recover from here on, and you'll be able to make the best of your 2026 attempt, right? Is everyone on the same page? What is this session about? What we are going to discuss? Keep your notes, keep your pen handy so that you can take a lot of notes, and you can understand like what are the strategies that you can use to make sure that you recover from here, right? Along with that, we are also launching one of our UAP recovery batch. This batch is specifically focused for aspirants who are lagging behind in their preparation for 2026, also for 2027. People who have covered some part of the syllabus, but they're still not clear about their strategy. They need some help. People who have been just reading, covering syllabus, but they haven't attempted any test. There has been no assessment. You have not done much of an answer writing. Your optional is not there yet. And you're still in the phase or in the mindset or in a confusion where you're still questioning, should I attempt 2026 or 27? We're launching UAP recovery batch. All you need to do is give a missed call or call on this number. You'll speak directly to me, right? 9266677821, right? And we'll start with the session. This is your exam date. 24th of May 2026 is going to be your prelims, and your mains will start on 21st August 2026. Now, with these exam date for 2026, we are going to talk everything basis those months which are left for this exam, right? By the time September comes, almost 80% of the aspirant go through this confusion of should I be attempting this year or next year, everything, right? So this is important to understand that this is very normal. It happens when you haven't planned your preparation as per the cycle. You haven't thought through the preparation. You have not written much test answers, etc. There's no revision strategy, etc. It is bound to happen. But please understand, this is not a failure. It's a point where you can completely change your strategy, which I call pivotal point, right? What does it look like? And I want all of you to listen to this carefully and answer in the chat if you are going through this. Your crisis, mid-prep crisis will look like if your syllabus is incomplete, right? You have no idea how much syllabus you are covering, how much part of the syllabus is done, how many micro themes you have done, have you done PYQ analysis, are you preparing based on the PYQ, etc. or not. Notes, you have done something, either your notes are piling up with no clarity or they are incomplete. Like you are in complete confusion with your notes, right? You don't have any one-pager notes, there is no strategy, etc. Optional, untouched. You have chosen your optional, but you have not started to read your optional, or it is not at the same pace as you would like it to be. So let's say 10-20% optional is what you have done, and you have not like gone through the PYQs for your optional, etc. There's no notes also for optional. No test practice. You have not been attempting any mocks, answer writing nahi kiya hai, etc. How many of you can relate to this kind of mid-prep crisis? Please write in the chat so that I can understand. Yes, no, etc. Please write in the chat. How many of you are facing these issues which I call mid-prep crisis? What kind of issues are you facing? Please write in the chat. Now, why most aspirant crash here and why does this happen, right? What is the reason? The reason are these. You have failed to understand the UPSC syllabus. You are not able to understand, if I go through PYQ, what kind of insight should I take out from those PYQs? Second, over ambitious planning. You are not realistic with your planning. You are making sure like I'll study 13 hours, 16 hours, etc. But to what end? You need to understand syllabus completion is just 10% of or 10-20% of what will get you a rank in UPSC, right? Your schedule will collapse. This is not long term. This is not good for long term if you are just over ambitious with your planning. Passive preparation, watching YouTube videos, attending classrooms, etc. Reading complete again and again, reading the same thing, but you're not able to recall. So there's no revision plan at place. Optional fear, keep pushing it till later. Like a lot of people here, you might not have just started with their optional also. Current affairs ka backlog, right? Like you're reading newspaper, what I call newspaper guilt cycle. Like you have been piling up your newspaper. You have, even if you are reading that, there's no notes, etc. So that you're not able to recall or revise, etc. And again, very important, no feedback loop, right? What no feedback loop? Like when you read something, you need to immediately attempt a test, mock test, write answers, check how much of what you have read can you recall, and then you need to sit in front of someone who can give you certain feedback so that you improve the next time, right? 3 basic steps so that you don't get into any panic cycle, etc. Right? Very important. Step 1, cut the clutter. First, sit down and prioritize your syllabus basis PYQ micro themes. Okay, what are those topics which UPSC keeps asking again and again, right? High reward areas. Prioritize your syllabus basis that. Forget any standard books, NCERT, everything. Second, switch to active recall. How? You will make notes, you will attempt a lot of tests, you will do answer writing, you will revise. This is how you will recall what you have been reading. Third, rebuild microcycles. Whenever you are failing, don't think in terms of big leaps, etc. Do micro progressions. Small micro cycles, short sprints, and check-ins. Check-ins matlab you will have to cover a small part of the syllabus basis your micro theme, complete that micro theme, attempt some PYQ, attempt some mock test, etc. Write some answers, and then make sure that you get certain feedback. Simple. Now let's move forward from here, and I'll give you the actual plan. Almost 8 months are left from today. You are in the end of September. Till prelims, you have almost 8 to 8.5 months left, right? Before we start, you should understand what is the bare minimum that you are targeting to get a rank. This is last year's 2024 cutoff. For general category, almost 88 marks was the prelims ka cutoff. Okay. For mains, 729. Of course, there's a category wise. And for overall cutoff, 947 was the cutoff. This is your bare minimum. You have to keep 947, 730 almost, and 88 marks almost for general category. Check for your own category, etc. But this is the bare minimum that you are targeting. Below this, you should not be thinking. Your preparation should not fall below this. Okay. Now, this is how your recovery timeline looks like. No matter where you are, if you are lagging behind, from today, this is how you should be looking at your preparation. I'm giving you broad idea about by what month, how much you should be able to complete. From September, focus on the top big foundation subjects: history, geography, economy, polity. From NCERT, I'm sure a lot of you will already know the books, etc. NCERT core books, right? Figure out from September till January end, you are only focusing on mains preparation. When I say mains, GS plus optional. Optional you have to study. Okay? So from September to January end, your aim is to focus on mains, starting from your GS 1, 2, 3, 4 or big 4 subjects: history, geography, economy, polity plus optional. How you will do it is you will figure out the mains micro theme. We already have a document. I'll also discuss about it. You will go through those mains micro theme wise. You will open up your NCERTs and core books, cover those micro themes. You will in parallel, you will cover your optional for 2 hours every day. Okay. You will also make notes and enrich those notes by our X factor notes. Simple. इससे ज़्यादा कुछ नहीं करना है. This is what you have to do till January end. From February till April, your preparation, or mid-April, almost 3.5 months. Your preparation should only become prelims specific. Prelims is extremely tricky nowadays. You cannot take prelims for granted. So you should, similar approach, similar strategy. Now you will focus on prelims micro themes. You will attempt a lot of mock test. You will do a lot of post-test discussion with your mentor, and then you will cover and revise all the prelims topic. Prelims also ask a lot of factual questions. Then you attempt prelims. You are doing a lot of revision, etc. Then comes the D-Day, which is 24th of May. After that, you have June, July, August, almost 2.5 months. There you are doing heavy answer writing for your GS and mains. You're writing a smash mains test and then sitting with your mentor. You're making sure that after every test you are getting certain feedback to improve and write ranker level answers. And then of course for GS and for optional you're doing heavy revision in those 2.5 months. Write mains for 1 week, go for interview prep. I'm leaving interview. These are your broad timelines. I'll just summarize. From today till January end, you should focus on mains and optional. Then comes prelims. Then comes prelims revision, etc. 1 month to in those February to mid-April tak. Then prelims happens. In those 2.5 months, you are focusing on your mains answer writing heavily and optional answer writing and revision. Then comes mains and then interview. These are the major broad timelines that you have to focus on. This is what will help you recover if you are lagging behind anyone. Very important question to get clarity is that ask these 3 basic questions. Am I focusing on the right things? Is that what UPSC demands? Do I understand that? And third is that my strategy should be aligned with what UPSC demands. It's that simple, right? And we'll understand how we will bring these clarity. This is extremely important for all of you to understand. Subject wise, I'll tell you what UPSC is trying to ask. Okay. Let's start with polity. Majority of the people start their preparation with polity. In polity, when it comes to prelims, UPSC wants you to focus on power versus limitation. This has been a very recurring themes. It rarely asks who appoints whom. ये सब पे ध्यान नहीं देना है when you're reading Lakshmikant, etc. It asks which power is not mentioned in what article. These are the kind of questions UPSC has been asking. Power versus limitation, right? Repeated questions have been coming on president, governor, election commission in the context of power. What are their powers? Which power is not mentioned, etc. They'll also trap you with questions like, what are the powers can president exercise without the council of ministers? This is the actual PYQ that UPSC has. So understand the nature of questions that UPSC has been asking. And whenever you are reading Lakshmikant, focus on these these ideas, okay? Because this is where UPSC might trap you. Again, UPSC doesn't test don't try to mug up this article number, that article number in prelims preparation, right? It is testing you on constitutional principle applied in real governance. Balance of power, these are the kind of questions. Center versus this, legislature versus judiciary, citizen versus state. It is also asking questions on institutional effectiveness, election commission, Supreme Court, parliament, etc. These are the questions, these are the kind of question UPSC has been asking. These are the actual prelims PYQ, and I have written what we can learn from each PYQ, right? For example, this one. In this question, UPSC is trying to understand, do you have the clarity on federal versus unitary form of government, right? It is trying to understand, it is trying to ask you, can you map actual federal features versus unitary tilt in Indian constitution? That is the question they are asking, right? UPSC loves to trap with recent event, right? It expects clarity on constitutional versus statutory bodies. And these are the actual PYQs. To understand this table, please understand that what can you learn from certain PYQs so that you can extract certain insights. These are the years in which they were asked. I've taken basic sample size. This is for prelims. This is for mains. This is the actual mains question. UPSC links parliamentary decline with anti-defection law. UPSC asking federalism as evolving, not static. Look at the question. What you can learn? Right answers as challenge, solution, forward. Don't study ADL in isolation, link to parliament, democracy and debates, etc. So these are the kind of, this is the kind of strategy that you have to use whenever you are understanding or reading PYQ. Please figure out certain trend and what it is asking. I have done little bit of that job for you. In polity and governance, like I said, the prelims pattern is conceptual traps. Mains mein they are asking analytical plus current linked. These are the prelims PYQ, these are the mains PYQ. What we can learn? We have to learn institutions, case laws, current affairs linkage, don't mug up articles, map their functions, limitations and reforms. Simple. So whenever you are making notes, etc., make it in this way. Instead of, how do you recover if you are lagging behind from this? Instead of rereading Lakshmikant, pick one PYQ micro theme, for example, federalism, revise with ARC reports and current affairs and focus आपका restore हो जाएगा. This is extremely important. Okay. Economy. In economy, they have been asking concepts, not just the terms, and they want you to test your logic over facts, right? It won't ask terms like repo rate, GNP, etc. It rarely happens. What they're asking is, what is the implication of these things? What is the cause and effect relationship of these terms, etc., right? For example, repo rate increases, how it affects inflation and credit inflow. These are the questions UPSC has been asking. Whenever you are studying economy, please focus, whatever the source you are reading, focus, have this lens when you are studying. Prelims, inflation, banking, GDP, these are the questions. In mains, reforms, policy, current affairs, these are the, look at the terms, base effects, GDP deflator. So they're asking certain concepts that do you have clarity on the concepts or not, right? What is the insight? Economy is about concept plus trend. Mugging stats is useless. Always connect current affairs to the basics. Link each concept to one newspaper editorial, one economic survey fact. Very important, right? So you should be able to relate your static with current affairs when it comes to economy. Focus on conceptual clarity, not just mug up data, it's and facts. Okay. In history, focus on similar sounding movements because UPSC will trap you on that. For example, it has asked which particular resolution of Congress clearly declared Purna Swaraj. These are the kind of questions UPSC asks. Focus on why events happen, not when. In history, UPSC tests sequence, not intent. Okay. Again, what we can learn, don't memorize years, focus on the themes, peasant movements, bhakti movements, moderate versus extremist. So whenever you are studying history, please understand that, do I have clarity on all the moments, leaders, philosophies, right? What is impact analysis? What were the implication of certain events? What were the sequence, continuity? What changes did they bring a particular moment, etc. So that you can analyze the question properly. That is for history and culture. In geography, try to understand location with certain important consequences, right? So observation, location, logic. One of the question, the river flows westward, cuts across rift valleys and forms estuary. These are the kind of questions. So if you don't understand the different features of a particular river system, etc., if you don't observe that, it is hard, and that's why you have to have an inverted thinking when it comes to geography, at least in prelims. Don't just mug up maps randomly. Please understand the reason behind it. Okay, you have to have a proper. In environment, focus on static versus current affairs. Don't isolate facts. UPSC links them with reports, location, biodiversity, UN bodies, right? So this is again for geography and environment. Focus on India specific geography, agriculture, disaster, rivers and climate change reports, right? Pick any one of the PYQ micro themes, cover that in certain way, the way in which UPSC has been asking. For example, UPSC tests applied geography, location mapping, climate and environment policies. यही क्वेश्चन आ रहे हैं, and if you study your syllabus like that, you'll be in a very good position to cover your syllabus in next 8 months. You'll be very sharp and you'll be only doing things which UPSC expects you to do, right? This is science and tech. They're mostly asking you, please, what is the emergent technology? And in mains, they're asking you to analyze opportunity, challenges and ethics involved, right? So don't chase heavy science, focus on application in Indian initiatives. So ISRO, Digital India, AI, biotech, these are the kind of questions that UPSC might be asking. And if you're confused about multiple science and tech source, just follow PYQ trail, CRISPR, AI, cybersecurity, ISRO, revise those only, your clarity will be restored. So this is again for science and tech, and this is the way for all the all the major subjects you have to cover your syllabus. There are certain trends which UPSC keeps repeating, right? Now, to give you more clarity for UPSC 2026 and 7, there are 3 pillars. Your strategy has to be on point. What kind of content you are studying? Is it prioritized basis micro themes or not? And then can you get certain feedback or not? So starting with the strategy from here on, this is minimum 8 hours you have to study daily, because there is a lot of part that you have to cover now if you are struggling already. And please make sure revision is a part of your preparation. Okay? Don't do random revisions. Always either revise the next day before you start picking up new things, or have it bi-weekly or once in a week. Let's say Sunday, or fix a particular day where you revise everything. Have a written timetable like this. Look at this. This is the whole month that you have scheduled. What you're doing is you're dividing the whole day in slots. So let's say, for example, this is current affairs, 1 hour. Slot 2 is core subject. Slot 3 is again for 2.5 hours, another subject. You can do optional also here. Then you are putting up some assessment or practice. Writing, you can do some mock test, some answer writing. And like I said, revision should be a part of your plan. So 1 hour revision. This is again divided for whole month for each day. Have your timetable like this. This is very important so that you are accountable. This is the part 1 of your strategy. Extremely important. Without any plan, you will struggle. What you want to do is you want to start with basics, 11th and 12th. NCRT. No need to go to 6th to 10th class for now. If you are struggling in certain concepts, then you can pick up that, or you can do some basic internet research. But ideally, it will do the job if you do 11th and 12th. Move on to standard books and PYQ using microtheme. Like I said, your syllabus should be ruthlessly prioritized with the PYQ microtheme, and I have already told you for all the subjects how to do, what kind of question UPSC has been asking. If there is additional sources, you are going through some classes, etc., do that. Then comes current affairs. Enrich your notes with X factors. All this knowledge should be combined in a one-pager notes, and I'll show you actual one-pager notes in a while, and then revision. This is in the most simplest form. This should be your strategy now. You cannot afford any kind of confusion anymore. This should be your strategy. Okay. Now let's talk about the micro themes, and starting with prelims ka micro theme. Why this is important? Because if you analyze last 10-12 years of prelims paper, these are the kind of questions in each subject UPSC has been asking. This is the most important data that you should be focusing on. Almost 59 or 60 questions are coming from static part, which basically means almost 120 marks. That is more than enough to qualify prelims in any category. These are the only number that you need. Okay. What I mean is, even if you have not prepared for current affairs, you are still fine. If you have not studied any current affairs and you have been focusing on static, it's okay. Average 100 marks you can grab if you are only focusing on static subjects. Okay, that is history, economy, geography, polity. Now the problem with a static subject, you are still getting a static subject wrong, and it could be because of the two reasons. One, you're not able to prioritize your micro themes, your syllabus, and second, questions that have been asked in UPSC prelims or mains, they are beyond the standard books. Okay. Now to solve that, you have this idea. Analyze any PYQ basis these three things. Identify the micro themes. What is the nature of that micro theme? What kind of question they have been asking? And then can I analyze options? Let's take some examples. This is for art and culture. This questions Nagara, Dravida and Vesara. This is the micro theme. Micro theme is architecture and sculptures. What is the kind of question? They have been asking about the different types of temple architecture. Okay. That you have understand. But this thing that you see, how do you analyze options, is that you go through this, like there is a musical gharana that they have asked in option D. Now you have to make notes of this. You have to do some basic research because there is a high chance this question can be asked next year. This is what I mean by analyzing optional. This keeps happening every year. UPSC keeps making up questions from last year options. So don't miss that. This is again lot of art and culture is a subject, and architecture and sculpture is a theme. Very important theme. Look at the number of questions they have been asking. This is literature and language. Each year they can pick up this and ask next year. These are actual UPSC PYQs. This is a Buddhism theme. Very extremely critical, extremely important. Anything they can pick up and ask in next year. Look at these locations, Buddhism kingdoms. They have been asking, like, what are the kingdoms associated with Buddhism? They can just pick up this, ask you next year, invert the whole questions. Very important. This is for Modern history, very important themes from 1939 to 47, all the movements, etc. Please make sure these are the themes that you are covering. What does each of these Wavell plan, Simon Commission report, Cabinet Mission plan, CRISP proposal, what does it involve? You have to pick up and make notes on these because any question can be asked from these. Again, modern history theme. A lot of personalities that they ask. Understand about each personality, you have to make basic notes so that you understand that these questions can be asked again next year. Look at the number of questions on personality and their contribution. Is everyone with me? Is everyone able to understand? Please write yes or no in the chat, and please write your questions. Are you able to understand how UPSC makes questions out of previous year options? Great. Let's move on. These are modern history acts. Lot of questions they will ask. They can just pick up what is Parliamentary Reform, Montagu Chelmsford's Indian Independence Act. They can just pick up and ask. So in sabka, all of you should have a one-page notes, some notes on each, because ये highly probable areas हैं जहाँ से question आ सकता है. This is geography, world mapping. These are the kind of questions they have been asking. This is actual PYQ in geography, world mapping. Understand the trend, understand the importance, consequences of certain locations. UPSC will not randomly ask a location. There is some consequence attached to that, must be in current affairs, etc. Make notes of them. Agriculture in good practices pe question hai, right? Same thing. Look at the number of questions they've been asking. So these concepts, you need to understand them very well. You need to make sure you understand the science behind each agriculture good practices, etc. So that if they asked next year, you are ready. Energy, petroleum, fossil based sources, these are the number of questions they have been asking every year. For polity, fundamental right is a very important micro themes. Look at the number of questions that they have asked. This is very important, and this is where your article knowledge will also be tested. But again, they will not directly ask. All of that rarely happens anymore. Have a very strong fundamental conceptual clarity in polity, because now they are not asking direct question, they are testing some conceptual clarity. And like I only said, they test power versus limitation. Look at these questions. Jurisdictions, etc. Certain institutions, etc. Supreme Court is a theme. These are the number of questions they have been asking. This is local self-government. So all these concepts you have to make notes. That is the one thing, so that you do not get your static questions wrong, because almost 120 marks you can get only from static. The only reason you get a static question wrong, even after realizing the fact that yes, I know that almost 60 questions are asked, which is the trend I showed you. The only reason you get it wrong because one, you did not prioritize the syllabus basis micro theme. So you're just reading, but you don't know which areas are of high reward. Or second is that the questions were asked from beyond your standard books, etc. To solve that problem, you need to analyze micro theme. What is the nature of question? And then how can I make sure that I get insights from the previous year questions option? And that's the main theme. That's what you need to understand to recover from here. Forms of government, again a very important micro themes. This is economy, RBI. Look at the number of questions they've been asking on RBI. Almost every year you will find question on that. So you cannot afford to miss. What you need to do is each thing you have to analyze the options, bank rate, open market operation, public revenue, and then make some notes about it so that you are ready. This is monetary policy and RBI government. So which one of the following is responsible for controlling inflation and price stability? Now, whatever is the answer, but you need to understand, you also have to write some notes about these 4 points so that you're ready if any question is asked next year, right? This is on FDI, foreign investment, bonds, disinvestment, very important micro themes. food chain, nutrient cycle, this is for environment, extremely important micro themes for environment, right? This is pollutants. Look at the number of questions. So for each, you need to make some notes, check in current affairs, what is going on, etc. If some new research have come, make sure that you have analyzed all the options properly. This is the way to do PYQ. Again, in environment, wildlife, legislation and forest is a very important micro theme. Every year they ask questions. So that is how you analyze options. That is how you have to prepare. Now this is prelims one pager. You will see every year UPSC is asking questions on English factories and places that they have controlled. Like I'm sure a lot of you will know they have asked question like where was the first factory or sequence of those factories opening, etc. So like make one pager like this so that you are ready. You don't need to go through your standard books again and again. If you look at this, then this is again all the important cities in ancient India and modern India, right? So, and that is also, you can see more famine relief, right, etc. So lot of context is added in these one pagers. This is map annotation. So all the national parks with their location, what are the most important animals in each national park, etc. Right? You can see Arctic climate, 4 big squirrel, etc. So UPSC will keep asking questions like in particular national park, what are the states, what are the most important, what is the biodiversity, flora, fauna there, etc. In this, you will see all the river systems, etc. Which states are they passing through? What are the particular tribes there? Is there some heritage site there, etc. Any wildlife species? So you can see marine wildlife species, Chikka wildlife species, any particular lake in that biodiversity, etc. You can see largest lake here, Nandagiri, oldest, etc. Make one pager like that. This will help you a lot in revising. Make sure that this is how you make your prelims ka map annotation. Again, this is elephant and tiger reserves across India, annotated and plotted on the nets. Not only the rivers, but anything around that, the states that they are passing through, what are the features, is there some dam, etc. there, etc. Where is the origin? So that at one place, and you can see certain one highlighted which UPSC is asking, certain geographical features. For example, these are east flowing rivers. This is where do they merge, etc. It's like largest river of Rajasthan flows through Sambar Lake, right? This is short. Luni is a short-lived river, right? It joins in Run of Kutch. So any geographical features, the states that they are passing through, where is the origin, what river system, etc. at one place, so that this is how your prelims preparation should be. Again, soil system, what is the percentage, origin, nature, what are they rich in, what do they lack in, what is their color, what is the type, where are they found, what is the location, vegetation किस type का है वहाँ पे, and what are the features. At one place, whole soil system, everything is there, so that it helps you revise. These are your prelims one pager notes. This is again, you have all the mountain systems in geography. So glacier, deserts, mountain ranges, important passes, freshwater lakes, different kind of Himalayas, so eastern hills, Arunachal, Darjeeling, Sikkim Himalayas, Uttarakhand Himalayas, etc. What are the different tribes that are present there, lakes present there, important rivers, hill stations, cantonment area, dunes. There is no information which is lacking here. In one place, you will ensure that you are revising very fast. This is how you need to recover if you are lagging behind. That was for prelims. For mains micro themes, I'll just quickly show you how to make GS1 ka one pager notes. Is everyone able to understand till now how to make one pager for prelims? I just showed you. Please write yes, no. Now we'll talk about the GS1 pager notes for GS1, right? And I'll show you certain example of a ranker only. For example, poverty is a micro theme. Under society, poverty is a very important. Like you'll see questions coming in. So how this person is make it's like a mains answer only. What is the definition? Some important data, right? Some quote that you can use to write answers and add more context, right? What are the different forms? So skill poverty, health poverty, asset poverty, gender poverty. What are the reasons? Historical reasons, social structure, economic structure, political environment, different types, right? What are the different government policies and schemes to eradicate, to elevate poverty, right? Different committees, capability approach, population poverty, right? Population as an effect, what are the implication of that? COVID-19 का impact क्या है? Challenges क्या आते हैं eradication में? And then again, some quote, right? In one place, you have covered poverty. In one pager, you have covered everything about poverty. This is a very enriching answer that will help you make sure that you are on track. And this is also written in the form of mains answer. So आपके memory में भी वैसे ही रहेगा. Geography, ocean current, cyclones in one page. And different dimensions of it. So geographical impact dimensions. What are the factors? Geographic impact, economic, marine life पे क्या impact है? Same for cycling, different diagrams. This is how your one pager should be. Make sure this is you're sticking very close to this, so that your revision is very effective. Ancient history, expansion and consolidation of British power. एक ही पेज पे सब कुछ लिखा हुआ है, सारे dimensions लिखे हुए हैं. Let me show you. Look at this. This is how you need to make sure that you're consolidating your almost every subject like this. Okay. पोस्ट इंडिपेंडेंस में रीऑर्गेनाइजेशन ऑफ स्टेट एक ही जगह पे लिखा है, सारे स्टेट का लिखा है. आंध्रा, यू हैव तेलंगाना, झारखंड, उत्तराखंड, छत्तीसगढ़, गोवा, सिक्किम, हर जगह लिखा हुआ है. इमीडिएट इम्पैक्ट क्या है, चैलेंजेस क्या है, आफ्टर मैथ क्या है, सब एक जगह लिखा है. ब्रॉडर स्ट्रेटजी फॉर नेशन कंसोलिडेशन एक्सेट्रा. तो दिस इज द होल आइडिया दैट यू शुड नॉट बी स्ट्रगलिंग विथ notes at all. A lot of times we need to write a lot of data to enrich our answers, to add more context to our answers. Look at this ranker writing all the data at one place also. जिससे revision में भी कोई issue नहीं होगा. Let me show you. Most important data sets are written at one place. Right? So that was for GS paper 1. Now let me show you how to make one pager notes for GS paper 2. Look at this. For GS paper 2, you have all the keywords written here. Parliamentary form of governments, merits, etc. Presidential form of government. पूरा comparison करके एक जगह लिख दिया merit क्या है, यहाँ पे merit क्या है. Different dimensions they have written. Right? This is very important that you stick to this format so that it helps you revise. Different limitations. One place, very cleanly written. Separation of power, the whole topic is covered here. Look at this, with a lot of diagrams, some highlights, all the articles, all the constitutional provision for separation of power at one place. 50, 121, 211, etc. ठीक है? Again, Representation of People Act 1951. ये बहुत important. It's a very important micro theme, very important question. Like lot of times you'll see question coming. एक ही जगह पे सब कुछ. इसमें you can keep upgrading if something comes. So don't worry about any upgradation because you'll be able to add just one page later on. You'll be able to enrich your answers and add अगर कुछ current affairs में आ रहा है तो. For GS paper 3, quickly, these are the questions. A lot of times you'll see questions asking on basic concepts. So एक ही जगह पे सब कुछ लिखा है कि रेवेन्यू रिसिप्ट में क्या आता है, नॉन टैक्स टैक्स क्या है, रेवेन्यू एक्सपेंडिचर, कैपिटल रिसिप्ट, कैपिटल एक्सपेंडिचर, एक ही जगह पे गवर्नमेंट बजटिंग का पूरा एक जगह पे ही सब कुछ कवर कर दिया है एट वन प्लेस. जस्ट गिव इट अ ग्लांस हाउ इट शुड बी डन. दिस इज गवर्नमेंट बजटिंग टॉपिक एट वन प्लेस. दिस इज one pager for that from ranker. Okay, again this is different sectors and their implications. So this is for logistics sector, different technology, because Sci-Tech also comes in GS paper 3. So you have agriculture, healthcare, environment, nanotechnology क्या है, biotech क्या है, AI, ML क्या हुआ है, blockchain क्या हुआ है, across sectors, environment, healthcare, agriculture, सब कुछ different technology at one place. Questions can be asked. These things will also help you in your essay paper. Look at this: defense, political, electronics, space industries, legal, political, energy, economic, सब में लिखा हुआ है, सबका एक जगह लिखा हुआ है. For GS paper 4, what are the major keywords for GS paper 4, which is ethics, right? एक जगह लिखा है. Positive में क्या है, negative में क्या है. These keywords is what you write often in your answers. तो उसमें भी कुछ struggle की जरूरत नहीं है, एक जगह सब कुछ लिखा हुआ है. You don't have to struggle for it. In ethics, we go through a lot of ethical dilemmas. So this is the whole list of ethical dilemmas that this person has made, and of course some quotes are also there, which gives you some idea about that particular ethical dilemma. But इसमें भी कोई struggle नहीं है. At one place you have everything ready. Very important that when you're writing ethics answers, at the end of the day you have to conclude it on some note. The ranker have also written certain custom made conclusions. इस तरीके का क्वेश्चन आएगा तो this is what I'll write. Everything is, all the edge cases are covered here. Like this is the way to make one pager notes. Civil servants का value है, different persons quoted, etc. Different personalities quoted. This is Western philosophy, right? Indian philosophy. Everything is Bhagavad Gita, karma theory, Buddhism, Jainism, etc. Everything is written here. Attitude के बारे में पूरा एक one pager notes बना हुआ है. Look at this, with all the diagrams, highlighted keywords, etc. This is current affairs enriched. So ethics plus essay में what are the things that we can use? Everything is written here. Okay. Now let's come to content. Let's say this is your original source, parliamentary source. How can you convert into this one pager? That is the whole idea. And if you can't, we have certain called as flash notes. So the whole chapter of fundamental right, almost 30 plus pages, is converted into 4-page. This is also available. We call it flash notes. So this is also helpful. Coming to X factor notes, these are very important because it will cover all your micro themes. First of all, this is for GS 1, 2, 3, 4. It will cover all your micro themes. It makes you exam oriented, right? Because what is the most important and relevant for UPSC? And then it adds content depth, right? You will write lot of enriched answers because now you have committee's name, data, facts, etc. right? Diagrams, etc. That's what X factor will do. It also has the highest hit ratio. The questions that you see in actual mains exam GS papers, a lot of them are coming from X factor notes and smash maze test series. Content heavy answers, right? These are the actual 2021, 23, 2018. These are the years where these are actual mains questions. These are the X factor notes. This is the page number of that questions where it has been asked. You can go to this page, you will find everything about this question that UPSC has asked. So it makes your preparation very ramped up, like you don't have to struggle here and there, right? Just go through X factor notes. About the mentorship, because we have produced a lot of rankers and almost thousands of aspirants studied here, there are certain learnings. A lot of people think that exam is cracked by people from certain background. That's not true. Any rankers, we have rank 2, not coming from, we have rank 22, Pavan Datta, we have 48, 16. All these people are not from these colleges. They come from a normal background. Anyone who has cracked exam from Civilsdaily under UAP mentorship program, we don't believe they have been from the top colleges. Normal background student can make through this exam if given the right guidance, okay? By the 4th month, we have seen many students transition from regular to border and border to rankers. Border means someone who, if they will stay consistent, they will definitely qualify the exam. That's what border potential aspirant is. It generally takes us 3 to 4 months to do that, right? This is a real person who has qualified prelims this year and written mains also. Now you can see. These are the different calls that has happened, the amount of syllabus that they have covered, milestone, which book, which sources, what happened on particular call, what is the mentor's comment, etc. This is actual dashboard of our mentorship program that I'm showing you. This is the level of depth we go in our recovery batch and everything, right? PTD means post-test discussions, and this is call. right? These are the people. Just check the potential of this person. This person has been extremely consistent with her. Her name is Rija. The potential is ranker. This is ultimate assessment 2026. That's what I'm trying to say. They have attempted this year, now they'll. So this is again another person. This is again someone who have written mains this year. Ranker potential, you can see 2025 batch. Look at the different kind of calls that they have taken with mentor. Doubt, post-test discussion for mains, target assigned, PYQ discussion, subject that they have covered, milestone, almost 20 milestone, 45 mentorship sessions, right? This is the level of depth we go in our mentorship. Again, different person. Border student have an unfair advantage with mentorship. They end up getting a rank which they otherwise couldn't. Anyone who sticks with us with their mentor, high chance they will go through the exam. Again, potential is ranker. UAP Super Mentorship 2025, different kind of calls, etc. Right, with this parent. Not a single inactive student has cracked this exam. Anyone who stays inconsistent, who doesn't listen to the mentor, who doesn't stick to the target assigned, they don't pick up the call, etc. We have not seen them qualifying the exam. This is again non-serious. Potential is non-serious. Look at this, they are not picking up the call of mentor only. DNP mean they did not pick up. Did not pick up, did not pick up, did not pick up, did not pick up, did not pick up. We can't help. Joining mentorship only doesn't help. You have to follow the mentor also. Again, did not pick up, did not pick up. Reason why sincere students fail. First, they avoid attempting test. If you are preparing for 2026 and if you have any doubt that you can go through this exam process without any mock test or assessment, you are wrong. Do not avoid attempting test. Very important. Whatever the feedback a mentor gives, they don't work hard enough on them. They don't take that feedback seriously. They have multiple advisors from Telegram, from YouTube, etc. They should stick to one advice and they'll work. They take CSET for granted. It happens every year with a lot of people, even with math background and engineering background. They don't take CSET seriously. Don't do this. Even people who have qualified the exam, they have ranks, they struggle next year in the CSET. Don't take CSET. If you are honest with yourself, if you think you have been struggling in CSET, start preparing for CSET 30 minutes a day from today itself. Judgment day also matters. We have realized there are a lot of aspirants who were good, they were getting good marks, etc. But they were not mentally resilient, they were not prepared for the exam. So in the exam day, they panicked, there is anxiety, and they could not manage themselves at the last day, right? How do you get started from here? Very simple. We start you with the subject strategy. We make sure that you understand what kind of questions UPSC has been asking. We take an orientation call with you, right? So that you avoid the random pitfalls. जो 2-3 साल में समझ में आएगा उतना टाइम नहीं है आपके पास. You should be able to understand what this exam demands immediately. Okay. Second is we assign you certain targets so that you make sure you stick to the broad timeline. Like by February, you should be able to cover your optional and main syllabus. We assign you every 15 days to weekly targets, and we will check those targets, have you completed or not. Okay. Then comes notes. We will make sure that you are making your one-pager notes like I showed you, basis all the micro themes. You have your notes ready, and at the end of the day, you have enriched them with X factor notes. Then after every time you will complete a target, there is going to be an assessment for prelims, for mains, which is GS, for essay, ethics, everything. Every time you will complete syllabus, there needs to be test. And then once you have attempted the test comes the PTD. What is PTD? Post-test discussion. So that you sit with the mentor and then you understand what are the mistakes that you are making, and then you don't repeat and you keep improving. Okay. What happens in the assessment? Every time you cover certain part of the syllabus, there is going to be something called as mentorship test. There are almost 50 mentorship tests. They make sure that you have covered your core books, NCERT, everything, right? You don't need to refer to those chapters again and again, etc. Mentorship test will ensure that. Every week there will be a Samachar Manthan class which will cover your current affairs from across all the sources. You don't need to do anything else. We will ask 5 questions for that week current affairs in mains. You'll write answers and submit and get feedback from your mentor. And we will ask 20 questions for prelims, which is MCQ. This happens every week, so that your current affairs are solid and on track. Okay. Then for prelims, you have a dominate prelims test series. There are dominate prelims notes also. This will completely take care of your GS preparation for your prelims. There are CSET test too, taken by Srijay sir. Then you have Arvind sir and Subham sir taking care of your mains preparation, which is Smash Mains. Highest hit ratio test series. You will see questions directly reflecting from this. This takes care of your mains prep. So this is how much we put you through rigorous assessment so that आप हर कुछ करने के बाद एक test देते रहो, right? Now there are nuances. Mentorship is not about just solving doubt. It's about fault finding and course correction. Like I said, find the faults in a student and keep course correcting them. Second is ruthless prioritization based on micro themes. आप वो syllabus पहले करो जो UPSC बार बार पूछे जा रहा है. Extremely important. Tacit knowledge of rankers. What are the things that rankers do which helps them, right? We need to impart those strategies, those ways of preparation in your preparation so that you are always on the track. And we believe in maximum 2 attempts, second attempt also, just to improve the rank. And that is our promise to you. Stick with this, you have the highest probability of qualifying the exam, right? So in the end, like I started with strategy, content and mentorship. If you make sure you do basic correction in these things, you will find a rank in the exam, right? And as I said in the beginning, we are launching a recovery batch. Those who are struggling to recover but want to still attempt 2026, want to be prepared, we are launching a special batch now for that, which is UAP recovery batch for 2026. Just give a missed call on this number 9266 Just give a missed call. I will pick up the call directly. You will speak to me. You can avail a scholarship, etc. Right? So this is how you recover. This is how you make sure that you are back on track if you have slacked because of some reason. If there's any confusion that you are facing in your preparation right now, this is end of the September. Make sure that you call on this number, talk, take some basic feedback in your preparation, get into the mentorship. This is probably the last recovery batch that we are launching for UAP. Okay, all the best for your preparation. If you have any question, you can ask in the chat. I'll answer. Prabhat Mishra, for current affairs backlog, like I said, Samachar Manthan will take care of your current affairs backlog. You'll be writing test, assessments and everything. Any other question if you have, please write in the chat. Okay, great. Call on this number and discuss about your preparation as soon as possible. All the best. Take care.